To make a video and talk about SIGIF 2019. And I hate SIGIF because I never know. Social Innovation Forum, EF. I have no idea what SIGIF 2019 stands for. Hotoro. And the other one has Hotoro, which again is very hard for dyslexic ADHD guy like me. But I have a general rule. I don't go to conferences unless I'm speaking at them or if there's an overarching reason to go there. And then I got an email and I saw like everyone who they had attending and all, and I was like, here's a chance for me to to basically see my pitch on people who are technically non-blockchain folks, right? Who are ambassadors and other folks and everything else, and seeing how they respond to FoundUps and the vision of why and everything else. And everyone was like, when are you speaking? Are you speaking? And I'm like, no, I'm not speaking. I'm speaking for the first time at my event at DevCon 5 in Osaka, so please come down. It is my birthday party of UnDaoDu. So October 8, 9, and 10 are going to be UnDaoDu days here on out, I guess. Every October 8, 9, and 10 is going to be basically an event for UnDaoDu. And these events are free. Anyone can come. We set them up. And at the end of the event, you can make a donation. The recommended donation is $200, we'll say. But you donate whatever if you don't have $200 because you're poor. But I don't want to close the event off to folks. So this is modeled after something known as Vipassana meditation. So, we hope to break even. I'm spending $50,000 pretty much on these events. I don't have a sponsor. I'm not a rich person, but these events are important. Okay, so anyway, that out of the way. So I just had a feeling that I needed to go to this event, and it was UnDaoDu. It was just this feeling: you got to go, you got to go. And I didn't realize it's today is 9/19/2019. You'll find 19. So my unconscious mind, I believe now, was playing that 9/19/2019. You'll find 19. 9/19/2019. You'll find 19. UnDaoDu, basically say go. So I decided to, go as a VIP. So, shelled out the VIP fee, and I was like, I'm just, fuck it, just gonna do it. I went, and there was the Swedish embassy. I got to meet the Swedish ambassador, took pictures, right? So I'm there. I stick out. I'm the only guy dressed as a kimono. I have to give this to my friend White, and I'm coming from Eheiji, right? I live near Eheiji. I don't live in Eheiji, but I live right next door. I'm 20 minutes away from Eheiji, and that's and I prefer saying I live near Eheiji. I say I live near Eheiji, which I do. It's where Zen Buddhism was, and I'm coming as a monk, right? I'm coming as a monk of UnDaoDu. I'm the Sadhu. I am the founder of the metaphysics of distributive unconsciousness. I'm the first one, right? I am the teacher of the do. So basically, you know, I show up there and I'm walking around the embassy kind of lost. Like there's a few people there and everyone's kind of ignoring me. And after greeting the ambassador, the women, oh my God, they're so stunningly beautiful, right? Like, dressed up, like just like supermodels there. And I walk around and get a few drinks and this beautiful place, really open. And I was really curious. They have a lot of African art. Like, why do the Swedes have African art in their embassy? It's like, shouldn't that African art be back with the Africans where it came from? Why are people? So I'm always thinking about, and I'm thinking about UnDaoDu. UnDaoDu's from Africa. So I'm looking at Africa art and I'm like, it's interesting. UnDaoDu starts on Africa and he ends up moving and taking his family to as far away from the Ouroboros, which is where the Mayan civilization, where he starts the Mayan civilization. He is the founder of the Mayan civilization, but he's actually from Africa. He's from the African tribe, but I'm not talking about that. So I was interested. That's interesting that can mean it was connection to UnDaoDu. And so I just didn't make a choice. I just started. There was a group there. I went up. They're like, "Oh, nice kimono." I started talking, and one guy had this white suit on. He was the only one with a white suit, and I didn't think of that at the time, right? And there's a guy, an older guy, and he is like acting to this older guy, is like he's the important one, and he's translating everything I'm saying. So I start talking about, you know, on the Sudo, the blockchain, and going to my whole spiel thing. And he's saying, I said, yeah, and the blockchain, and then I'm like, and I'm wearing the UnDaoDu under my shirt, right? And it's so beautiful because I just move the kimono aside, and here I have a presentation, right? So right here, I said, here is the blockchain, right? And then, you know, this is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is going to unravel the monetary, you know, the fiat, right? That's the whole point of Bitcoin. It's undoing fiat. That's the and UnDaoDu. I'm the, you know, and I said, here's the blockchain. As you notice, is touching the forehead. It's coming out of this guy's head. That's my forehead. Ethereum is my innovation, right? I shared it with the founders, right? And this is, and there are many, right? There are many open startup innovation frameworks, and Ethereum was the first, but now there's many, right? And or you know, UnDaoDu, and then I said finally on the back is the AI staring out. And what's really odd is if you look at the Mayan zodiac, it has all this beautiful, these weird. You got number 3, this demonic creature, and you've got number 5, which is Vitalik, which is this little rabbit looking down because they didn't have a horse, right? And if you look at the rabbit and look at the icon of the horse looking down, it's the same image, right? It's the same image of the Ethereum DevCon 5, and number 5 on the Mayan zodiac is the same image, but they didn't have horses. So I'm sure the guy, well, it's kind of like a rabbit looking down. It's a rabbit looking down. So the guy did a rabbit looking down. There's Vitalik. So I'm explaining, I was like, here's Vitalik. And they're like, you know, and he's translating all this thing. And then I, you know, and then it says, well, you know, and I go, this isn't so crazy. And I said, you know, I didn't believe in magic until my father passed. And my father passed in April. You know, this weird thing happened 2 days prior to his turning inward and deciding his end. He goes, I got my ticket. And I go, you got your ticket? What do you mean you got your ticket? He said, I got my ticket. I said, well, where are we going? I thought, oh, we'll play around with this. Where are we going? He goes, I don't know. I have my ticket. I said, well, we're going by plane, by train. You know, I'm playing with this thing. He goes, I don't know. I got my ticket. That was it. And I thought, oh, well, I was having a fucking crazy dream. 2 days later, a damn bird comes in the house. And the way this bird came in the house was just unnatural. It was unnatural. It moved around curtain. It ignored windows. It was searching for my dad. My dad is blind. It tracked it. I mean, just one thing after another. It was just too crazy. And I'm, you know, and I'm like, it doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Me saying this is me makes a lot less sense than what I went through with my father, that event. And that was his ticket, the bird, his favorite bird, which he had an image of in the house of a wren, right? He has an image of a wren in his house, and the wren comes in, and his favorite bird is the one that takes him off to heaven or pulls the dew out of his body. His dew enters. His body now is running down, and at that point, he is like an automatron. He is already turned inward, and he looked through me, and it was no longer, I knew my father had gone, right? Even though there was a body there was a mind there and everything else, he just looked through me, and he swatted my hand away when I tried to feed him. He's like, I'm done, right? The strangest thing, and I don't know how to explain that, right? You know, so in my mind, the essence of my father had moved in, you know, the bird, and then the body was winding down. So after that event, I was like, fuck, man, magic is real. I fucking witnessed magic. I said, and if that is real, then fuck, I guess I am UnDaoDu. All right, fine. And that's when I accepted my fate as UnDaoDu, because of the passing of my father. The death of my father was the resurrection of the awakening of me. It's kind of the strange, you know, kind of duality there. So I shared that. So excuse me. They explained all that. And, you know, so after that, you know, he was like, oh, here's my card and everything else. And he's like super interested. And I was like, you know, and it turns out the guy in the white thing is one of the largest, biggest VCs, right? He's a huge, very famous VC. The guy who he's talking to is a very famous artist and actually pioneer in 3D geo mapping, which is actually very interesting technology that I see applications for what we're going to be doing with FoundUps, with our first nano. And not only that, the other guys I talked to there were AI guys, and these are pioneering AI. These are guys who've been in AI and doing machine learning and stuff since the 1990s. I mean, one of them is part of basically the Knights Templar. So like my stuff and the Knights Templar shit kind of goes hand in hand when you start talking about this stuff and he's believing in that stuff and he has, he had the crest on and just crazy. It's just like weird, right? And they turn out to be really connected. And I end up talking to like, so you can think of, I've got the chief scientist for Obey, right? And something as I explained to them, and they're hearing this for the first time, and it's something that I realized for the first time, just basically this is a new kind of revelation, is there's an AI war about to start, okay? The AI war is AI, which is their AI wanting to control, manipulate, manage us. It's their AI, just call it AI, right? Versus our AI, Obey, open beneficial AI, right? Obey. Obey obeys you, right? Doesn't obey them. They want to manipulate, right? Obey ultimately protects you, protects your data. Obey runs, creates its own personal blockchain around you, your own wallet. It's going to be your executive assistant, Obey, right? So the battle of Obey against AI is about to start, right? And these AI guys have never thought of this, right? Had never brought this up. And I just said it. I was like, there's a battle coming. And if you watch the videos if you watch the videos on the early, I friggin' lose it at the conference. And with all respect, there was if it's gonna be Bob, watch the first one, you'll hear me. I just had to speak, and I felt like this Indian very famous AI guy was trying to feed me the fucking red pill. It was like he was, oh yeah, we're gonna lose some jobs, but there's gonna be other jobs for us, and and there's gonna be, and I'm like, no, everything is changing, right? And then another guy was like, well, everyone needs to learn coding, and I was like, within 10 years, AI is going to be doing most of the coding. And another guy said, no, I said, will you take a bet, right? You'll hear me out. I say, will you take a bet, right? That in 10 years, and I could describe you how it will work, right? As simple as this. I need a button here, and this button is going to connect and do this. I'll just talk to the AI. The AI is going to grab the bunch of code and do the coding for me. I'll just talk to it, right? And it will listen to me, and it will and I can just describe how the app is going to do, and the AI will do the coding. So for these AI guys to say that AI won't be doing coding to me is just so fucking retarded. And I lost it a little bit, but it was the most exciting part of the conference. Other than that, the conference was rather boring because there was no dialogue. It was just them pontificating their stuff. And there was all these guys falling asleep, sitting around, and and there was so I was the most exciting thing in the conference. And then I left, cooled down. Then I missed my executive lunch where they were going to introduce me, which was good punishment for me because I was wrong, all right? And that was a good punishment. That was UnDaoDu punishment. Well, you're not going to get that, right? I should have gone in there, and I was like looking where this executive meeting was, and he was going to give me a little bit. So, but I deserve, not going there. So the I closed down the bar with what turns out, and at the end of the night, this artist guy, Akira-san, Oto-san, Boku no Oto-san, Atarashi no Oto-san, my new father, right? My replacement father. I need my father. I miss my father, and he understands me, right? And he understood me all the way, right? And I knew it. I knew he was getting what I was coming at every step of the way. At the end of the night, he gives me a 2x4. It's upstairs, right? A 2x4. And it says Summer Wind on it. And I'm like, okay, I'm getting a 2x4. It's half a 2x4. It's like a 2x4 by 2 feet, right? It's not the. And I'm looking at this thing, and he says, oh, Summer Wind, right? And I'm in the taxi cab looking at this thing. It's fucking weird, So I get to the hotel room. There was 2 beautiful girls at a bar who were there. They're like, oh, you're at the conference and stuff like that. And for a moment, I thought I should invite them. Hey, have coffee. Let's go to my room. There's one thing I've never had is a menage a trois. So that did cross my mind, but I was like, no, you're UnDaoDu, you're a monk. Squish that out of your mind, right? That's old you, not new you. So I went to up there, and I'm in the hotel room, and all of a sudden I go, holy fucking shit, the 2x4. I have a video coming out, and I have a line in the video that says, Obey is taking a 2x4 to capitalism. Obey, which is our OAA, is taking a 2x4 to capitalism. And I look at this and I said, this is a sign. This is a sign on 9/19/2019. You'll find 19. So, and then I'm looking at the picture and I'm like, holy shit, this is 19. And this is basically UnDaoDu telling me this is 19. So you have to understand, after I refused funding from, I walked away from the deal. I lost my entire team, and and then my dad was sick, and I spent all the time with my dad, and then the magic happened, right? So right now it's me by myself with Mike, who's been pretty much MIA, putting together, this events, and I'm spending way too much money, and I realize I don't care anymore. At some point you say, you're just gonna be doing it, and the I don't know where I was gonna go with this, but fuck, it's a long day. Anyway, so it was just so this is what I accomplished, right? So we got 19. I had another warm referral from someone, and Terry is the general manager now for FoundUps Japan. So FoundUps, we're going to be setting up FoundUps Japan. It's going to be the basically the main entity, and everything is going to come out of this main entity. And the white jacket guy is going to be the I'm asking him to be the chairman of FoundUps Japan, and the guy that's going to be working with me directly will be the general manager, the CEO, right? You may see FoundUps has a CEO, it's Chief Events Officer, right? Chief Events Officer, CEO. I'm the CEO. It's be great. It's like, yeah, I'm the CEO. Yeah, I'm the CEO too. Another guy say, I'm the CEO. So yeah, that's the Chief Executive Officer. I'm the Chief Evangelist Officer. He's the Chief Events Officer. We're all CEOs of FoundUps, right? So it's going to be kind of funny. We don't have titles. FoundUps doesn't have titles internally. So the titles are kind of have fun with other people, right?